Going on, beautiful people? Welcome to the Bleaves Crypto Show. My name is Bleaves, and we're here to talk about cryptocurrency. We're here to talk about what's going on in the market, how it affects you, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get a little bit of information that will help you on your day and your investments in cryptocurrency, or at least give you a sense or a peace of mind that things are trending in the right direction. Whatever it is, hopefully you're going to gain something from it. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Leave a comment. Let me know that you are a supporter, and let's get after it after the intro. The sweetest intro that's ever been made.
It's your boy Bleaves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys. So, by the way, I made that myself, and all I did was I took 6-second interval video clips and took the last frame of each one and turned it into an AI generative image, and then I just regenerated a new sequence to it until the video was over, which is why towards the end you start to see a little degradation of it. I was learning, it was my first time really going through like a whole AI script and stuff like that, and rather than fix some of the little problems along the way, I just, you know what, let's go with it and let's call it charm. Like that weird hairstyle that changes throughout the whole thing, how he becomes thin instead of hulky and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get into what's going on in the news right now. Kalshi prediction market surpasses 2.8 million cumulative notional volume on Solana as on-chain activity accelerates. Kalshi, another predictive market on the Solana chain, now starting to really surge. We were talking close to $1 million a day for a little while. Now we're up to $2.5, almost $3 million per day in volume on the Kalshi prediction market. Guys, prediction markets, by the way, the reason that I wanted to point this out is because prediction markets, in case you didn't know, are starting to create a problem, a minor problem right now, but coming up soon, a major problem in cryptocurrency. In fact, if we just look at it from a gambling standpoint, and we recognize that, you know, some of our investment does feel like a big risk and a big gamble. And if that's the case, then, you know, something like Kalshi or something like Polymarket, you know, things like that. When they come out, they create markets that incentivize people to do manipulation in the market. So to give you an example, if you're looking to wager $1 million or $2 million on the price of Bitcoin going up, and you've got a good rate on it, and you take that bet, and then you happen to have the capital in which to move the market to force the price into a positive flow, guess what? The market's going to flow to the positive for you on that day. The market makers are using wagers to help people along, thus manipulating the market and creating even bigger pools of profit and opportunity. And look, when you're in on it, when you're doing it, when you're manipulating the market with your friends, if you will, then guess what? Something like this, they become very easy. Prediction markets are a danger to everything that we're doing. I mean, guys, we should at least recognize that this is not going to end well. These prediction markets are going to be a problem for cryptocurrency. All right. Also, let's. I gotta. Because I'm dumb, I forgot to start the chat.
System resetting.
Now I got to figure that one out. Why would you do that, Bleaves? Because I'm dumb. Why wouldn't you have this ready? Because I'm an idiot. Now, you guys can defend me at any point if you want to. I mean, by the way, you don't have to be like, yeah, you're right. That certainly checks. All right, so anyway, good morning to DJ and Brian. Good morning to Roy Latama. Good morning. Janet Lachey, good morning. Jay Manuel, good morning. RW7610, good morning. So excited about Lunk. Guys, is doing exactly what I told you it was going to do, and I love taking that. I love seeing it do exactly what I say it's going to do. Like, that's awesome. How's it going, folks? Says me too. George Lopez Garcia says good morning. Good morning to you, man. Bull Run Rich says thank you for going back to the old format. You are welcome, sir. DJ and Brian, after all the other crap, not counting Believes 182, this is the best intro. This is much better, not bad. You know what? I'm just trying to make it fun for me. You know what I mean? And hopefully, if I make it fun for me, then I'm gonna make it fun for you. You know what I mean? Like that's what we would. That's what we're. I mean, like, I'm just trying to have fun. You know what I mean? So let's keep going on here. So breaking, $500 billion PNC partner with Coinbase to become the first major U.S. bank to offer Bitcoin trading. The first domino just fell an hour ago. All right, the first major U.S. bank, this is Pennsylvania National Corporation, is now partnering with Coinbase to provide Bitcoin offerings to its people. So PNC is using Coinbase's CAAS platform to offer Bitcoin trading to its clients. Eligible PNC clients will be able to trade Bitcoin directly in their accounts. The bank becomes the first major bank to offer this service. So the first domino, the exposure to millions of more investors, just happened this morning. This is a massively bullish signal right now that, and by the way, this is the thing that happens. And first of all, they fight it, right? Then they ignore it. First of all, they ignore it. Then they fight it. Then they have to accept it. And that's what's happening right now. They are accepting that this is the future. PNC are going to be recognized as the first one to do it. That's a great sign for PNC Bank, by the way. I would suspect that if you were investing in PNC Bank, that might actually be a good time to buy when you see an announcement like that. Not because it's going to go crazy today, but because down the road, the fact that they're willing to do stuff like this probably leans heavily towards a massive pump in their stock price. PNC further remarked that the launch of this Bitcoin trading offering marks a key milestone in its strategic partnership with Coinbase, which began in July to offer crypto services to its clients. So welcome aboard, PNC. This is a big move. This is a really big move for the markets. It's a really big move for cryptocurrency. Also, Luna Classic price continuing to skyrocket, up over 20% today as they begin voting on the major upgrade. Now, what is the major upgrade? 3.6.1, which is they're just upgrading the chain. There is a vote that goes on for the upgrade, by the way. So in the event that you are interested, the current vote structure right now is, should be, I mean, everybody should be voting yes on 3.6.1. Yeah, so you're not really going to have any no's or anything like that. Maybe you'll have one or two. But if you are interested and you are a gearhead, then you'll be able to kind of go through and look at what your, at whatever it's going to do. And by the way, this is not for the faint of heart. Okay, it is not for the faint of heart. So in the event that you are looking for it, as soon as the chain automatically halts at the designated, please don't execute these commands before the chain is halted. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to do the upgrade. If you want to see what this upgrade is, this is a fix for legacy contracts and bumps dependency versions. The technical release notes can be found right here. So, and it'll certainly go through. It's been tested on Test Center. So this is another big moment. And I think we'll see Binance, et cetera, start to upgrade and start to support. And by the way, for those of you that are on Weeks right now and you can't send your Luna Classic over to Weeks, this might be the fix that you've been waiting for the upgrade. So we might be seeing some reopening of some of the lanes that were closed by the last upgrade. We may see, kind of when you go back and you start to fix problems that you've created, then that sort of move right there could open up another lane or so. So exciting times for Terra Luna Classic. Again, there's no fundamental reason other than the market module for this much excitement around any market. Okay, we're not really in the only thing. Ian Allison wore a shirt. Okay, that's the sum extent of what happened here, and that caused a significant sort of rally, and then that got people thinking again. You know, something big might happen. And by the way, if you are interested in how much they're burning based upon this, I actually have the data right here, and it is crazy. 1.5 billion been burned over the last 7 days. This has been down in the 200 to 300 million range for a while. Like, this is not something, this is a major caveat for the Lunk chain. Yesterday burned 125 million. So far today, 213 million. This gets tracked real time, and there were significant USTC burns as well. And when you look at it from a volume standpoint, as of last night, the trading volume was, I want to say 222. It's back up to $332 million in trade volume for Terra Luna Classic, with Binance getting close to 100 million. Now, I got to point this out. The volume from Binance is generally in the neighborhood of 5 million per day. Maybe sometimes 6 or 7 million, sometimes as low as 3 million. So, you know, Binance is where most of the volume comes from. So when there's not a whole lot of volume for Terra Luna Classic, you know, it really shows in the burns. And when you look at the burn, the last time we had a first of the month burn, which was right, right there. No, on the wrong one. Duh, stupid. We had 602 million burn on the first. So, and then the last one on the first right there was 672 million that day. Now, Binance didn't burn all of it. They never burn all of it, but they burned a majority portion. So you're talking about 500 million based on the fact that it does maybe $150 million in volume for an entire month. It's doing 150 million volume a day right now, or close to it. On some of these days, it had $500 million in volume. Like, there were crazy amounts of trade volume on the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem for the last couple of days. Binance is going to burn a monumental amount of Terra Luna Classic this week because this volume just continues to soar. Now, if you didn't watch my video that came out at 6 a.m. this morning, what is wrong with you? But my point was that I think we're going into a specific range. I think that we'll get a nice little pump off of it. I think that the move is going to be up into that 236, which is, I mean, guys, we're really kind of right there right now. So it could be that we got close enough. Like, really, it's just, we're right there at that 236 sort of level with a move into, where is it, 66, 67 right now. So this is a fair spot. If you followed me and you listened to me when I told you down here at this 47, this was going to be the bounce area. We're going to get a nice reversal. We're going to come up to this 236. Be a perfect time for you to take profit right now because you won. You know what I mean? You won. Now, this doesn't mean that it's not going to continue. We're going to see whether this is a soft landing or we're going to see whether this is going to be just, if we're going to see some push. The good thing and the good news about this is where it's happening right now. And when you look out on the chart, you see that the place that it's moving right now is right in the zone where you would expect a ton of selling pressure to be happening, right? But instead, we got this nice big wick up here into the next pocket of selling pressure. And this area has not really sold off. Like, there's been a lot of people holding this as a momentum indicator. And when you zoom out, again, like you look across here, this is a solid range right now from which to bounce. Like, you're not going to need too much accumulation time or consolidation time in this range to start getting a good push. So now the question is, can we get back up to the top of the range? If we get back to the top of the range, can we get into this next little area in this region here? And we're going to get to 409 if that is the case. So again, that doesn't mean that we're going any further than that right now. We're not talking about anything going any further. Just for right now, I think that we're going to get that continuation of the move. And this has been a great thing. It's been a great relief rally for the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. I really wish the market module would come out because it would make such a gigantic difference to everything that's going on over here. So, Lung prices continue to surge 20% as the community begins voting on a major network upgrade proposal. That's not the reason for the pump, by the way. But the 3.6.1 upgrade implements a fix for legacy contracts, which might fix, again, weaks and places like that. Bumps dependency version. It will improve the security functionality and stability. As per the proposal, the upgrade focuses on enhancements to the network's CosmoWasm smart contract capabilities, improve interoperability, and bug fixes. At the time of writing, the proposal has received 99.3% votes in favor, with no with veto 0.66. Notably, validators including Binodes, Garuda, and Hexagon have voted in favor. One of the things that these guys have liked to do lately is they don't want to show their hand, because I don't know why. I mean, to me, if you're waiting until the end just to see what everybody else does, I mean, you're just the baby. You know what I mean? Like, vote and let's move on. Let's find out whether or not this is going to happen or not. And so we got people sitting on the sidelines that have had 24 hours to consume it and to go over it, and they're still not voting. So it's a very weird sort of situation. These are some weird people. I'll be honest with you. I like most of them, but there is a attack of lunacy that seems to permeate from Terra Luna Classic. There are a lot of conspiratorial sort of weirdness that seems to happen here. Just, you know, it's weird. It's weird. All right. And by the way, if you want to talk about one of your cryptos instead of one of my cryptos, you do that with a super chat. So make sure that you hit the super chat in order to do that. Okay. Next up, Trump says the next Fed chair must immediately cut rates. Now, also, that Fed chair is supposed to be Kevin Hassett. Kevin Hassett, who went on CNBC yesterday, got mad at the answers and then decided that he was going to end the interview. So it's good to see somebody who can handle pressure. It's just absolutely insane, by the way. Trump stated that it is a litmus test that the next Fed chair must immediately lower rates. That is correct. Kevin Hassett is currently the favorite to replace. Crypto traders are currently betting on 3 rate cuts in 2026. That's a lot of rate cutting. But here's the thing. Kevin Hassett probably going to go aggressive. What I said in the beginning, my intro for this today was, could we see a 50 basis point cut coming up right now? And by the way, the market at this point really could support a 50 basis point cut. Jerome Powell has been behind the 8 ball every single time. And listen, here's what I think is important. If you, and I'm not saying that you should, okay, but if you give Donald Trump what he wants in terms of the financial aspects of the United States, it's not going to completely annihilate and wreck our economy. Okay, it's not. However, it would give you the impetus to say, well, now we're going to have to pause rates a little while to let the interest catch up with the amount of rate cutting that we've been doing. But here's the thing. At the end of this, if you cut by 25 basis points, thanks. If you cut by 50, you're putting more money in the pockets of everyday Americans in terms of lessened interest. Every day that you make a credit card payment, you're taking a little bit of money out of American people's pockets when they're making a higher payment because they're meeting that credit card debt bill or their mortgage payment or whatever variable interest rates that they may have that they're paying an interest plus prime. So with prime coming down, you're putting money into the pockets of Americans that's going back into the economy or at least taking care of them. Why not do it? Why not give them a chance? You know, so I'm going to be in support of these BPS cuts, and I'm hoping that we're going to see 50. Now, if we don't see 50 and we see 25, we're definitely going to see 25. Okay, I'll tell you that. We're going to see 25. But the other important part is we are now 5 months away from the big change. Okay, we don't have 6 months anymore. Now we're down to 5 months. So we'll see a massive shift coming very, very soon in this market. It's just like, are we going to drag it out, or are we going to just step heavy into it and we're going to start cutting the rates? And we'll see. 77% chance right now that Trump nominates him to replace Powell. Now, I don't know how the Senate's going to vote, but it only needs a majority right now. So if Donald Trump has the hand and the pulse of the Republican Party, it should go through without issue. So fingers crossed that we're going to see some real easement in market conditions very, very soon. Also, I'm not familiar with this, but it did launch. Night Token, OKX is airdropping tokens to Cardano, Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP holders. I don't know. I don't know anything about this, but if you're holding something on OKX, then you might get something here. The Knight token, the exchange officially declared in a release that it would distribute the Midnight's Knight token to users who hold eligible assets during the official snapshot, and it was Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BNB, Avalanche, and Basic Attention token. It was stressed during the exchange that access to airdrop will vary depending on jurisdiction. Also, Knight cannot be distributed in all of them due to regulatory limitations. So, and by the way, I don't know what Knight is, okay? Coming soon on Kraken, Knight is the unshielded native utility and governance token of the Midnight Network. So this is the one for Cardano. So maybe... in an interview, Hoskinson said that the Knight token will work using the Midnight platform. This network will use a fast consensus system named Jolteon. That's a Pokemon, isn't it? Which is designed for high performance. Jolteon can handle up to 5,000 transactions each second and has a fast block time. This has allowed privacy-focused smart contracts to work well while still keeping security. So could be a pretty interesting thing. I mean, especially if you've got Charles Hoskinson involved. So I would say that it probably wouldn't hurt to have yourself some Knight token. But who knows, right? All right, Kobayashi had some information coming up here. President Trump was asked if the Fed chair will be expected to lower interest rates immediately. His response, yes. So I think you can say for sure it's going to be Kevin Hassett. Bullish investor sentiment is surging. 44% of individual investors expressed a bullish outlook over the next 6 months in the latest AAII survey, the highest since October 8th. The peak over the last 12 months was 45%. Over the last 3 weeks, this percentage has risen by 12.7 points. Trump also, by the way, has graded the current state of the U.S. economy. And guys, listen. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like. But he said that it's A++++++. He says that the U.S. economy right now is A++++++. Okay. Now I want you to go to the grocery store and I want you to think about that. Okay. When you're buying your steak, which is currently at an all-time high, when you're paying way too much for cereal, when you're paying too much for all these things, you tell me, is it A+++++? Guys, it is my impression here that he's got to have somebody, he's got to talk to somebody about this, because there was you know what? I'm going to leave this. I really hope that somebody starts to advise him that he really needs to be more upfront and honest with people about what's going on, setting the expectation, and it's going to cost votes. It's going to cost votes. You know, the previous just lie to them and say everything is fine until everybody votes yes. Like, everybody's now can't vote yes because they're seeing it. I really wish somebody would get into his ear and just kind of fix some of this. Now, China is set to limit access to NVIDIA's H200 chips despite Trump's export approval. Buyers will likely be required to go through an approval process. Remember what I told you a few months ago, that Trump had screwed this up a little bit when... So what he did was he banned the H200 chip being exported to China. Well, in the meantime, Huawei stepped up and they created a similar chip that was almost as fast as the H200. By the way, this is not our best chips, okay? This is our slowed down tier chips. These are not the best chips. So Huawei came out with their own and they are comparable. So China started buying from Huawei. So now that Trump is changing this, Huawei has already picked up an enormous amount of market share, so China can now be more selective about whether or not they even buy these H200 chips. And, you know, look, we're going around and we're calling it a win because Trump reopened the market. But again, guys, be honest with yourself. Does this seem right to you? It's getting frustrating in this market right now. Also, total consumer credit surged $9.2 billion in October to a record $5.08 trillion. What is happening in the world? The triple A or the quintuple A plus economy right now Consumer credit is surging billions of dollars every single time, now up to a total of 5 trillion. Revolving credit, which include credit cards, jumped 5.4 billion to 1.32 trillion. Guys, what's happening right now? People are living off of their credit and credit cards. People are not living off of their paychecks anymore. That's A+++++++. All right. No bull market indicators have been hit. TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. Terra report if you want to buy some Luna Classic coins. By the way, look at the gains over here when you look at token analytics. You've got Terra up 12% on the day, Luna Classic up 24% on the day, USTC up 24% on the day. Going up and down this list here, you're going to see big pump after big pump after big pump after big pump in the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem as the pairing. By the way, everything that gets created, if you want the Believe coin, by the way, you go over to Launch Pump. If you want to launch one of your own cryptos, and you've got a bunch of chill guys that are being launched over here, and just go down the list here. You get the Believe meme coin, which is still available. You're gonna have fun with it, and guess what? This brings attention over here, but they're all pegged to Terra Luna Classic. So when Terra Luna Classic pumps, guess what? So does the rest of the market. So does the Believe coin. So does every other meme coin that's out here in that ecosystem. So shout out. Also, tokenizing billions means nothing without completing trillions. When assets go on-chain, settlement becomes the real problem because the market they're entering still sits on infrastructure with multi-day exposure windows. Dev Network eliminates those windows entirely. All right. That's it's kind of boilerplate. No news, no information, no anything. So I don't know what to do with that. I don't know that it's a is or isn't a thing. Also, let me pop this up here. This, in case you guys didn't see, and I don't know if this is accurate or not. I would like to think it probably isn't. Somebody in the dev chat, by the way, says in the Dutch group, they say Tom was on a live meeting with Hugh E investors saying it is NASDAQ. So I don't know if that means anything or not, but just thought you guys might want to know. As far as the crypto banter bubbles on the daily right now, we're having another decent day here. Tau up 6%, Zcash up 8%, Cardano 6%, Fetch 5%, M up 8.5%, Render 5%, Hash 3%. Not really a banging day. Like, this is not really sort of a breakout here. Bitcoin up 1.1% on the day. That's a pretty good sign. But Night token down 60% so far as people are just crushing it with profit taking. B is up 11%. Luna Classic in the top 200 again, up 17% on the day. Zebek Network up 6%. I took a long on Zebek Network the other day, and it's up 100 and something percent right now. Only $5, by the way. Like, it's not. I'm not taking it. It wasn't a big one to begin with. It was just a couple bucks that somebody gave me for free for a platform or something. So I'm just long on it, letting it sit there and see what happens. If it 5 or 10x's and I got $50 out of it, awesome. Ultima's up 10% on the day. Folks 28%, Pippin 22%, Beat down 30%, Zen up 17%, Rect up 9%, Soon up 10%. We're getting a little bit of movement in the market, but again, nothing. I don't think anything's really going to pop until we get the Fed decision. So I think really we're just looking at sideways trading and people starting to bet on what they think is getting ready to happen. A lot of people putting bets on Luna right now. A lot of people putting bets on Lunk right now, USTC right now, Aleo, River, Atone. So we'll see what ends up happening with all of these. Fear and Greed Index still sitting at 22. We're not getting any movement. We're still at the fear to extreme fear area right now. So that is concerning. And I think that we should at least acknowledge that's a problem. And that speaks to one of the bigger things in the market, which let's get back into chat right now. I said this on X, and it was kind of about retail. It's not that retail is not here in the market. That's not the issue, right? The issue is that where is this? Maybe I didn't even launch it after I said it. Son of a bitch. The reason that we're having a problem in the markets right now, retail is not able to keep their money. They're having to cash out of crypto in order to pay bills. That's what's going on right now. This is not what you would hope for. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems to me that that we're going to have a problem here. All right, retail is cashing out of crypto. That's why the market is down, and to get them back in, there has to be some profit to it. What's in their wallet existing right now, that's how they're going to get tricked into coming back. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see a lift off from, let's look at the ETFs. Bitcoin probably Bitcoin has to rally for us to have that blow off to begin with. But Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, Chainlink, maybe even Ondo Finance has an explosive move. Maybe BitTensor has an explosive move, something like that. But I think something like a Dev, some of those outliers, some of those outlier sort of things, like those are the ones that are going to have to start breaking out. Like we're going to have to see like a rally. And to me, in a perfect world, what I would like to see, obviously, is Dev take off. But when Dev takes off, people realize, oh yeah, this is a massive RWA project. So what we need to get into RWAs, and we need to start finding our way, because now we need to find the next Dev, right? With it going from, let's just say, where's it right now? 30 cents, something like that, 31, 32 cents. Hold it to $10. Everybody gets a quick 30x off of it. Something like that. That happens. That happens, and we get that really significant rally. People are going to start looking around and saying, oh no, we need to have, and it doesn't have to be Dev, by the way, but any one of those that has that significant sort of rally could ignite something in the market that just, boom, we start an altcoin season that just goes absolutely crazy. So, you know what I mean? DJ and Brian says, everyone in our Discord has sold or is about to sell. Are you talking about Dev? Because if you're talking about Dev, it really doesn't matter. It's like, it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter where they are. The whole thing with Dev is once they make their partnership announcement, everything fundamentally changes for them to begin with. So it doesn't really matter who's invested there or not. A bunch of people are going to be buying it because of the partnership and because, it's becoming an open secret right now. So I really think that it's going to just pop off. I just don't know if it's going to be December. Here we are. It's December 9 right now. Where's the announcement? And, anybody who's in the bag would be like, well, there's 22 days left. Right. There's only 22 days left. You're waiting to the end of the year, the absolute possible, like you're waiting until the very, very end. What is, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure that they'll make that deadline. I have no reason to think that they won't because they haven't said it. But also, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think they kind of alluded to, the fact that it would be done a year ago. So we'll see. Now, let's go look at some charts here real quick. It looks like the market, if I'm looking at this right now as a litmus test on what's going to happen next, I would say the market's coming down a little bit to at least sweep into this range right here at 89,100. But that is on a lower time frame and not on a higher time frame. If I go to a higher time frame, that changes dramatically. When we look at it from a low time frame, then we're looking at some bearish momentum, but we look at a larger time frame and it looks like the attractive area right there is about $96,000. So I would suspect that we're going to see a move and a surge in Bitcoin up into the range that I've been telling you guys for a little while that we need to get to for some confirmation. Now, in the event that we do that, that doesn't mean that we're going to continue and that we're going to stay up there, right? Does not mean that. What I think right now is that we're about to get a really good rate cut. I think we're going to see that. I think the market's already priced that in. We'll see a surge from crypto. We'll see a surge from risk assets. But the question now becomes, is that bullish or bearish long term? Are we going to reverse the macro trend and what the macro trend is doing right now? And we were in this parabolic sort of phase for a short period of time, up, 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 up and away. And now we've kind of rounded ourselves over here so that what we're looking at now is something more akin to this right here, which means that that cycle looks like this could be the cycle top. All right. That's what, basically that's what it's saying right now. So we had this right here, right down here. Then we had this over here, which is right here. It's not even a bearish, you know what? Matter of fact, it's not even a bearish divergence. So it is very weird when we pick our tops and decide where we look. I think ultimately this market is about to start moving in the positive direction one more time. Anyway, this sideways range right now, we're back in the sideways range. I said yesterday, I think maybe it needs to be widened just a little bit. Maybe I don't have that gap completely right, but I can't just, every wick I can't, we can't stick every single one of the wicks. So, but here's where I think the sideways range is. We're absolutely in that sideways range. Bitcoin has to run, and then we'll start to see, a big rally. But again, we're going to have to break above. We're going to have to hit that 50 up here. We're going to have to hit that 200 up here, and that's currently sitting at 98,000 and 109,000. And these are the 50 and the 200 EMAs. If we don't hit those, eventually the algorithms are going to say it's time to dump. Eventually, people are going to start selling some more. So now the question is this just a relief rally for the next leg down? And, by the way, even though this did come up, remember how these relief rallies seem to work. We have the test at the top. We had the test at the top. Then we had the double test over here. Then we had the double test over here. Then we had the secondary relief rally. The secondary relief rally, all-time high. Then we had this massive capitulation dump. Now we've had this kind of move over here. What I'm expecting to see right now would be, or could be, this little capitulation right here, taking us to another low. If that is the case, we're still kind of bullish, except, again, it's all about the 50 and the 200 MAs. We are not even close at this point. So, again, your algorithms are telling you we're not doing very good. So, we get a surge, we get a nice little break above, then all of that changes. But we're going to have to see a really, really big move. Now, in defense of what's going on in the market, I think we should recognize this. City-states, nations, investment firms, PNC Bank, they're all allowing Bitcoin exposure. They are opening themselves up to millions and millions and millions of more people every single day. Chainlink just opened itself up. XRP, Solana, they all just opened themselves up to be exposed to more savvy investors everywhere. And these people, they're going to accumulate because the money that can be made in cryptocurrency is absolutely insane, right? Like the returns that you get in crypto are absolute lunacy. And if that's the case, then it should stand to reason that we're going to get a continuation of this rally. Now, that's me fanboying to say that that's what I think is going to happen. Let's jump out to the weekly and let's see what's happening on our weekly chart. And the weekly chart tells us that the 200 MA is down at 56,000. Eventually, we're going to touch wherever that is. And right now it's at 56,000. So here's what I suspect is going to happen, by the way. If I look at this chart, and I'm going to make my bull case right now, and I'm going to say that the cycle top here, I think we're going to have a surge, okay? I think we had a big surge here, and then this thing continues up. Whoops. Boy, I did a shit job of that one. And then I think the top of this market is where we find that final bottom. So what I think is going to happen is boom, and then the capitulation starts right there. And then, there's going to be some symmetry to it, and that's where we get our crossover. So I'm thinking at the end of this year, the end of 2026, that's when the real low happens. But I don't think it's going to be sideways action. I think we got one more big relief rally. I'm no longer sure that we're going to hit 170,000. I still think that we will, but you know, it used to be to me, I would look at it and I would say it's in the bag. Now, 135,000 right now. If we did that, I would feel good about this market. I would feel a lot better. But I could also say maybe it's over. Maybe it's over. You know what I mean? Like I would look at it in that context. And then I would go back here and say, you know what? Now is the time to accumulate my 5 Bitcoin to be a millionaire down here and get it right in this range right here. You can pick them up for about 350 grand. And then that's going to be an easy ride to $1 million. Boom, an easy 3x for Bitcoin from that bottom. Now, the other part is, what if the market does collapse and we get down here into that 50,000 range? We get to 50,000 range, then guess what? For $500,000, you got 10 Bitcoin. If it runs up and it actually does what I'm saying right here, then you make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. So, you know, it's up to you. It's your world. Do your thing. You know what I mean? Yesterday, we had outflows in the ETF. On the Ethereum ETF, we had inflows totaling 35 million. On the XRP ETF, we had inflows totaling 18 million, 38 million in dollars, 18 million in XRP tokens. And in the Solana ETF, we had inflows again. Guys, the inflows just absolutely continue. The inflows just absolutely continue every single day into these ETFs. It is getting really, really crazy out here. All right. And 24-hour DEX volume. What are we looking at right now? Top 4, we're at 7 billion, maybe 8 billion. So still looking for retail to re-enter the arena. But again, I posit this theory that we're getting priced out of the market right now because people are needing to cash out of their crypto to pay bills that they didn't anticipate having to pay. They're looking to you know, pay your light bill, pay your electric bill, or God damn, it's the same thing, please, you idiot. The car payment. Everything they're getting priced out just a little bit more, and you're having to cash out in order to make ends meet. And guess what? At some point soon, those ends are going to stop meeting. So, you know, Trump, do your thing, man. All right. Now, Terra Luna Classic is falling to 6,406 right now. So a little of the shine wearing off as the market finishes its surge. That could be that we just saw the big surge that I was telling you about before, and that there it is. I mean, it's close enough to that 236 that, you know, you make the argument that, boom, let's get rid of that. I mean, there you see it right there. What I told you yesterday was going to happen is happening right now. So if I'm right about that, then what I'm going to say is that we're probably going to have a dip back down into this range right here. And then we're going to have a big retest up here, up into this range right there. So that's what I would suspect to happen. Now, in the event that we didn't get a strong, push, okay, like this right here starting to weaken right there. But if we get an accelerated push, then we could see it just kind of surge back up. And if it were to use the 236 as support, then bam, we are bullish again, and we're going to have a breakout, and we're going to hit that 409 move very, very quickly. So, you know, the question is whether or not we do or do not. Now, here's the other part. If we have a dip today in the U.S. market, then that's going to be okay, because it's the overseas markets that are buying Terra Luna Classic to begin with. And Luna has broken above the 50 MA and the 200 MA over the last couple of days, meaning that it is confirming itself maybe as very, very bullish. And, you know, if this happens, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. Matter of fact, if you guys don't remember, Luna, look at this. Luna, not that part right there, but this right here, went to $7. Went to $7 post the dumping, I guess. I don't know what you even call it anymore. We call it the Terra collapse when it launched. There it is. $25. There it was. It went to $25 when it launched. Right now it's trading at 14 cents. Could you imagine? That's 150x. Could you imagine 150x on Luna? Which I have like $100 in. $100. Because I had Luna Classic when they when they did the gift, and it's all just staked and just sitting there and accumulating, but it's a not very small amount. But I mean, $100 at the current price, considering that it was trading at $2 or $3 at the time, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens. I mean, but it's a nice little breakout. Let's see, is there anything else breaking out? Zebec Network still continuing to move. We've got Assemble Protocol up 10% on the day. Might be a good sign for AI. Let's go look at Tau then. Tau is up to 312. Okay, so we are having an AI breakout here. My area at 304. Remember what I told you guys. If you enter, then you want to enter at 304 off of the push. But what we want to see is we want to see this push continue up into this range. And then we want to see that breakdown. And then we want to accumulate right there and set a buy order. If you set a buy order right here and the market fails, then you're going to get stopped out and liquidated. Okay? Because that would just mean that this resistance right here is still holding. So we're having to build up momentum and stop sellers from selling or get the sellers out so that the new buyers can step in. So look for a move up here. If we get a move up here, set a buy order to 304 and then just accumulate your bit tensor at 304. Now, if you've already accumulated at 400 or something like that, then, you know, just DCA. Just DCA your way through here. Also, we're up $45 billion. Something is happening in the market right now. Dow Jones is only up 92 points, but I think something is going on with crypto right now. Bull Run Rich says, let's get back into chat here. Dump. Thank you, boy Trump. Don't waste your time with that plume. It's the second largest RWA with 62 million market cap. I don't know what that is. We hit bottom. I don't know. Maybe we did. We might have. He's doing his thing. That's why we're having to get out of the market to make ends meet. You know, I don't know. I think that the market, look, I mean, you got to blame, you got to look around. It's not Donald Trump did all this, you know. It's a combination of greed. It's a combination of a lot of different things in this market that's created the situation. And, you know, one person isn't going to be able to fix it. And that's not me defending the guy. I'm just saying that, you know, there's a lot of problems in the markets, and he is not the biggest problem in all of these markets, not by a long stretch. There are a lot more problems here, fundamentally speaking. So, but we're up $45 billion, so that's a pretty good day. And look, today is the first day of the rate cut discussion. If we get what we're looking for, and that is to say, if we get the 50 basis point rate cut, this market is going to go absolutely parabolic, and we'll be at 100,000 Bitcoin by tomorrow. Right now, sitting at 92,187. Bitcoin is surging, by the way. We're up 55 billion right now. The market is surging again. I don't know how far it's going to go, but I would be watching this all day long. Again, remember, just because this is happening right now does not mean that we have reversed our trend. This could just be a dead cat bounce. We could be looking at the liquidity move to try to trap people in one more time, and then we could be looking at a sweep back down to lower lows. I'm not sure yet. It's going to take some, you know, again, time is the thing that's going to let us know. So make sure, guys, that you hit the like button on your way out. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to get out of here for the day, and that's going to be it. By the way, if you haven't already, I've been doing Bears content again. I did stop that for a while because Ben Armstrong told me that I should stop making Bears content and focus on crypto, but fuck. Anyway, and we got an Ondo video coming out today. For those of you that don't know, I am leaning into new markets. One of the things that I think that I've failed to do for this channel is, talk about XRP enough, talk about Ondo enough, talk about Cardano enough. I'm going to start reaching out, and every day we're going to be having content where we're talking about different communities and giving them information, maybe to engage or check out the channel, give them reason to click. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Best thing you can do to help me out is after this video is over, leave a comment down below and hit that like button, and then share the content on X or with anybody that you see. If you're in the gym and somebody's working out, go stand over them, put your nuts in their face and be like, hey bro, you ever heard of Bleeds Crypto? And just see what they say. That's going to be the test. Matter of fact, if you do that, make a YouTube short on it of you getting your butt beat, and that'll be kind of funny. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. Thank you so much, you guys. And we'll talk to you again very, very soon.